Hey, my name is Shelly, and this is my channel, Shell Space. Today we're going to do an unhaul video. I rarely do unhaul videos or unhauls because I probably do them once a year because I just accumulate all the books that I don't want, and then once a year I get rid of them. So that is that time because I just redid my shelves, so I just plucked everything off I didn't want anymore. And let's get to it. Warning. This video may contain opinions that differ from your own. Please be respectful and understanding. And remember, these are my opinions, and so please do not take it personally. And please don't be mad at me. Okay, so the first book may be a tad controversial, but The House in the Cerulean Sea. Is it in the Cerulean Sea or in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This book was like all the rage a couple years ago, and everybody was reading it. Everybody was adoring it, saying it was like their favorite book of the year. So I'm like, oh, I want to jump on that bandwagon. So I picked it up and I read it, and it wasn't my favorite book of the year. It wasn't a bad book. Like, I didn't hate it or anything. It was okay. Like, it was an okay book. It honestly reminded me of that Tim Burton movie that was actually based on a book series, but I only watched the book series, and it's Miss Peregrine's Children for something. I can't remember what it's called, but it totally reminded me of that, 100%. And that's all I could see when I was reading this book. Also, it was okay. Like, it was okay. It was a good book. It was okay, but I'm never going to read this book ever again. If anything, maybe I would give it to somebody to read it, but I don't know. For me, it was a really big disappointment, which sucks because I really like this cover and I like the book, and yeah, so it's going. Okay, the next two books I am not sad at all to unhaul. It is Stormfront and Full Moon. These are the first two books in the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. Everybody's like, give it to book 15 and you'll love it. It's like, no thanks. I'm not wasting my time. I'm sorry for people who love the Dresden Files. I really am. But I'm not wasting so much time just to get to the good books. I found that these books were incredibly sexist. I did not like his tone. I did not like the narration was really awesome because I listened to the audiobooks, but I didn't like his voice. Not the narrator's voice, but Dresden's voice. Like, I just didn't like him. I found he was sexist. I just found he was like annoying. These books didn't work for me, and I'm not going to continue on with the series. So bye-bye. This book I am sort of torn about, but it is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I hated this book. I hated it, but it's a special edition with these like cute little pink sprayed edges, and the desk jacket has like really cute art, you know, but I hated the story. I thought it was bad. I did like the glimpse of, oh God, wait, Shanghai back in 1926. I thought that was really cool, and I would prefer to read a whole book about that because I thought that was really phenomenal with all the different cultures, and like the city didn't really belong to a certain one particular country. I thought that was really cool, but the story itself, no thanks. It says it's like a dark Romeo and Juliet. It's not. It's not. No, thank you. So this is going. The next two books I'm also kind of sad to unhaul. Only because one, they're beautiful, and two, I love the author, but I do not love her work, if that makes sense. Okay, so it's Leigh Bardugo's King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. I read King of Scars. Which one's the first one? I don't know. I think it's King of Scars. I read King of Scars, and I read pretty much all of Leigh Bardugo's books, and I have not loved any of them. I thought that they were okay, but they just didn't work for me, and this book just really didn't work for me. I didn't like where it went, and then I bought this book just because I wanted to follow up, and I haven't read it, and I'm not going to read it, so I'm unhauling these beautiful books, and this makes me sad. Next three I'm unhauling are the Empire of Silence, Demon in White, and The Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio. I'm unhauling these because I already have the hardbacks, not of Empire and Silence, but I'll get it one day, maybe eventually. These are one of the series that I just want to really, really love, but it just doesn't work for me. But I'm determined to continue on with it because it's like, theoretically, it's everything I look for in a book. But the narration just doesn't work for me. And it's not the book's fault, it's totally a me fault. But I don't need 2 copies of a book that I don't super duper love. So I'm going to unhaul these. Okay, same reason, Dune. I have a hard copy of this. This was the reading copy. I lent it to my dad, and he kind of wrecked it a little bit. So I don't need another physical copy of this. If I'm going to read it again, I'll probably do an audiobook of it. So I'm unhauling this book. The next one kind of hurts as well. It's We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. I love this duology for the covers. Not so much the story inside. I think I really liked We Hunt the Flame. I really did like We Hunt the Flame. But then I read We Free the Stars, and I was just so bored. I didn't care about the story anymore. I completely lost interest. I forgot half of the stuff that was going on. It was okay for me. And I think the only reason I kept them for so long is because of the beautiful covers. So I think that I'm just gonna donate them, and somebody else could love them more than me. The next 2 are kind of, these are hard because I have not read them. So For the Wolf and The Kingdom of the Wicked. I have had these books since they came out, and I have not read them. And I don't think I'm going to. I don't know. There's just something about them that I'm not drawn to. Like, this is a dark YA fantasy, and I'm not into YA. I think I was trying really hard to continue to be into YA, but it just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to unhaul this book, which is kind of sad because I remember at the time this book came out, it was really hard to get it, and I managed to get a copy. But so I'm unhauling it. And this one, I think I pre-ordered this one just so I can get the points on Indigo. And I forgot what the edge is. I like the book itself, but yeah, I don't think I'm like in a rush to read it. And if I ever do get the inkling to read it, I can just get another copy. Okay. The next series, it may be controversial to some, maybe not to some others, but I am donating the entire Cerulean and Sons series. I read all of them. I'm not going to hold this up, so I'm just going to put it down. I'll just hold up Cerulean. I read all of them, and I thought they were okay, but the more that I read them, the more that I was like, I don't think I actually like this series. Like, has that ever happened to you? You're reading and you're like, it was good, and then you keep reading and you're like, wait a minute, I don't think I like this series, but you keep reading because you want to find out what happens. So I did that, and I found out what happens, and I'm never going to read these again, so they're just going to waste on my shelf space, and they're not like a favorite. So I will donate the whole series, and hopefully somebody can find them and be happy to find the whole series. Okay, the next series is kind of a similar thing where I started the first Shadow of the Fox, and I thought that I really, really enjoyed it. And then I read The Soul of the Sword, and I was like, wait, I like the idea, I like the premise, everything else was good, but there was just something about the story that I didn't connect with. So I didn't even finish bothering reading the third one after this one, which really makes me sad because this is basically like anime in like book form. So like that, in all fairness, this should have been one of my favorite books. And I think it would have been like when I was in my early 20s, maybe. So yeah, so I'm going to unhaul these books. Plus I hate this cover. This cover too. Ugh. So that makes me sad because I really want to love this series, but I didn't. The next books are a maybe. It is The Wolf of Arunyaro and Issachar Falcon. I read The Wolf of Arunyaro like 2 years ago, and I liked it okay enough to pick up the second book, but then I got like maybe, oh, there's a bookmark still in here. I got to like chapter 8, and I just decided to put it down. for whatever reason. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, maybe I wasn't in the right headspace. So I may actually keep these. So you may see them back on my shelves eventually. I have to think about it. So that was my first unhaul for the year. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel like it, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, but you have nothing to say, leave an emoji of a fox. Okay, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.